As you may know, Ramon usually moderates these training webinars, but today Ramon himself was on the hot seat as our presenter. Since joining MAI as our Director of Publisher Development 4 years ago, Ramon has led more than 55 different on-site publisher trainings and consultations in the various world regions. Publishers in Asia, Africa, Europe, and Latin America have benefited from his hands-on training in publishing, leadership, and finance. Before joining the MAI staff, Ramon successfully led OMF literature in the Philippines for 11 years, earning an MBA before that. So, as you can see, he's ideally suited to speak to our topic of self-sustaining Christian publishing. In fact, Ramon's presently writing a training booklet to help publishers attain financial sustainability. In his words, Ramon says, "We want to help publishers move beyond dependence on foreign sources to achieve their mission and vision for the spiritual benefit of their readers." We'll say more about this training booklet later. We're going to cover a lot of material in this hour-long webinar, and there will be time for questions at the end, so please hold your questions until then, and you can use the chat box on your screen to ask those questions. Thank you, Ramon, for sharing your wisdom today on this crucial topic, so please take it away.
Thank you, John. Thank you for all of our friends who have joined us live. I will try and do my best to cover all of the 6 points on how to become a financially sustainable Christian publisher within our 1-hour webinar. Let me just start by saying balancing excellence in both ministry and business is difficult, especially if you're operating in the developing world context. It's difficult but not impossible. You have your own set of challenges. Maybe Christianity is a minority religion in your country. You might be undergoing persecution. You might be, your country might be experiencing economic difficulties. You have all kinds of challenges. So it's going to be hard, but it's not impossible. You have to pray hard. You have to work hard and still trust God for the results of your efforts. Let me just define financial sustainability. When I say financially sustainable Christian publishing, it is the ability to operate a profitable publishing business, not only for survival, but also for growth. You are setting to be a profitable operating business and a ministry at the same time. You're not aiming just for survival, but for growth, growing your organization, growing your ministry, growing your business. In today's digital world, traditional print publishers are competing with giant media companies for readers' attention. These giant media companies are offering a wide range of alternative content. And in fact, these reports are, Business 2017 report says traditional print is in danger of being marginalized because there's so much free content in the internet right now. So this is adding to the challenges that you are facing, competing for readers' attention. Not only that, traditional book publishing is inherently a cash-poor business. When I say cash-poor, you have to shell out cash to pay for your printers, to pay for the salaries of the staff, to pay for overhead. And then when you sell your books, it's not always a cash transaction. You have to wait for the cash to come in. And usually it's not as fast as, let's say, a fast food business. So you have to have some bridge financing in between the times that you shell out your cash. And from that time to the time that you will receive the cash back from your sales. So traditional book publishing is inherently a cash-poor business. So let me ask you this question. Is financial sustainability one of your company goals? I understand that you might be a ministry where you use literature as a part of your tools to reach out to your audience. And maybe you're not really thinking of becoming financially sustainable. But it would be good for you to set that as one of your company goals from the very onset, because it's going to be difficult to get into the financial sustainable mode if that is not in your thinking from the start. Let me give you an example of ZDL Books in China. One of its corporate values is sustainability, and they have recognized the need to be sustainable in all of their endeavors on a long-term basis so that they will be able to fulfill their mission and vision. And I hope you will incorporate financial sustainability as one of your corporate values or goals as well. Balance it with your ministry goals. Christian publishers are not in the business of publishing primarily for money. You are not operating as a profit business where the bottom line is so important. It is important to become financially sustainable, but you are not aiming just for money. You want to reach out to your audience. You want to proclaim God's word. You want to reach out to unbelievers. You want to disciple Christians in your country. You want to help the church leaders in their leadership, in their skills, through your books and literature. And at the same time, you want to be financially sustainable. It's going to be a challenge, as I said earlier. And with God's help, you will be able to achieve financial sustainability. It may take a long time, but God requires faithfulness on our part. So from my own experience in publishing and from my consulting around the world, I believe that these are the basic steps towards financial sustainability. First, you start with creating strategic publishing plans. Then you make sure that you have a steady stream backlist of bestsellers. Then you connect with your target market. You're in touch with them, you know their needs and wants, and you are producing books that meets these needs and wants and caters to them. You are properly stewarding your cash and inventory resources. You are regularly measuring your financial health. You know where you are and you make adjustments. And lastly, you build a highly skilled, motivated, and united team. Unless you are a self-publisher that you work by yourself. But if you're a team, you have to have a team around you, highly skilled, motivated, and united team pursuing the same goals. So let's start with step one, creating strategic plans. I sent out the handouts to you, and I hope you have a copy of the business plan template. A business plan is a basic, big picture plan. You need to prepare this. You need to prepare this every year, going towards the 3-year plan, and review it every year. It has your reason for being, your mission and vision, who you are, what you plan to publish, taking into consideration the environmental analysis, the social political situation, your competitors, the industry outlook, what are the threats. It's basic looking into the big picture and see the horizon before you. It's important that you have a business plan. Are you thinking of publishing more audiobooks? Put that in your business plan. Are you thinking of selling fiction and selling it by the chapter and using M-Pesa or mobile money? to be able to collect payments, put that in your business plan. It's strategic for you to be creating this. It's very important for you to set up your business plan. And I hope you will not take this for granted. A business plan is something like an operating manual. When you buy a new gadget, a new appliance, you go right into operating that thing without reading the manuals. Many of us don't go through a business plan. We just go straight into operating a publishing house without really creating some strategic plans. So I hope you will put that into your system. Another set of plans is what I call 3Ws. When I say 3Ws, the first W is what's new, your new titles, what's hot, your best-selling titles, and what's on special sale, your slow-moving titles. Let's start with what's new. You should know what are your new titles for the coming year. You cannot be a financially sustainable publishing house without publishing new titles. The market is always looking for something new. You have to offer them new titles, and you have to be very careful with what titles you publish because each title is an investment. Let me just cite this as an example. Let's say your new title is I Am Woman, Watch Me Roar. The author is Delilah Sampson. It's for adult women from 20 years old to 50, let's say. This is an important question for you to answer. Why publish this title? You have to be clear why you are publishing this title. And then state the reason why. And then the next column is projected release date, your projected print run for the first printing, your unit cost, your projected selling price. This is an Excel file, so you can add to the columns as many columns as you want. This is for you to be clear about your new titles and list all of them down and state the reason why. You have a marketing budget here, your channels of distribution, your main strategies to promote this title. And if you're able to sell the 2,000 copies that you projected, these $12,000 will be the addition of this title to your total net sales. And you can look forward to that if you are successful with your plans. So accomplish this what's new title plan. And you should know why are you putting this title to this what's new. There should be a criteria for you to say, yes, we are going to publish this title. Is it biblical? Is it Christ-centered? Is it culturally and socially relevant? You have to have a set of categories for you to be able to analyze and evaluate the titles that you're going to publish. Who is going to decide what titles to publish? Is it only one person? One person is very risky, and it's nice to have a team to be able to evaluate the manuscripts that come to you. This is an example of a manuscript evaluation scorecard where a team, let's say the editorial manager, the sales manager, the marketing manager, you yourself as a publisher, you can create a team, a publishing committee who would evaluate the manuscripts that come. You can set the criteria, the quality of writing, the readability, uniqueness, name all of these criteria. Is the manuscript in line with our mission and vision? Is it going to sell? All other factors, you can score it from 1 to 10, and 10 is the highest. So the total score and you add all up and you decide what titles to put in the What's New Excel chart. So use this and change the criteria if you want, as long as you have a basis for saying yes to the manuscript. Okay, so we're done with what's new. Let's work on the what's hot. The what's hot Excel chart, usually we let our guards down when a title is doing well in the market. Say, oh, I don't need to do anything more. I can just sit back and relax, and this title will continue to sell. No. If the title is selling well, you have to find ways to keep that title selling. Identify your best-selling titles from the top seller all the way down to how many titles you have. And look at this as an example. Say the title of the book is How Not to Rebel Against Your Father. The author is Absalom David. Last year, we sold 5,000 copies, but we only have 750 now. And we are projecting 3,500 for a reprint. And I have allocated $1,000 as marketing budget. And this is an important column too. What are the main strategies to promote and sell more? You have to keep the best-selling titles keep on selling. You have to find ways. Maybe you have not thoroughly exhausted the geographical areas in your country. Maybe there's an untapped market segment that you need to sell your book to. So make sure that your best-selling titles keep on selling. And if you're successful, this could be an addition to your net sales for the year, assuming you're able to sell all the projected copies for the year. So identify your bestsellers and make sure that they keep on selling. Don't be complacent. So we're done with what's new, with what's hot, and then the last W is what's on special sale. Why is it on special sale? Because it's been so slow. You may have committed a mistake. You may have been so excited and you thought the market could absorb 5,000 when in fact you only sold less than 1,000. And your warehouse is filled with slow-moving books. So you have to do something. You cannot just lay that, and allow that slow-moving titles to gather more dust in your warehouse. So you pull out this what's on special sale, you identify your slow-moving titles. Let's say the title is a sermon illustration for busy pastors. This is the author. The date printed is 2007, that's 10 years ago, and you only sold 10 copies last year, and you still have 950 copies left in your warehouse. Your unit direct cost is $1. The current selling price is $5, and you might want to make a decision that I would like to sell this at cost, so I'm willing to drop down the price to $1. And what will be my strategies to finish this inventory? So this is an important column. What are you going to do to finish this inventory? I'm going to offer this book directly to Bible seminaries, and I'll make sure that this slow-moving titles will be sold. Maybe you analyze the content. If the content is excellent, it's just you made poor decisions on quality of the cover or typesetting, then you can rehabilitate the book. You can do something. You can change the cover. You can change the layout and make sure that it becomes more attractive. Or you might want to phase out that book and put it to sleep. So, but make sure that you do something about the slow-moving titles. The step 2, Now that you have created your plans, make sure that you implement the plans that you have created. Step 2 for becoming financially sustainable is build a strong backlist of bestsellers. If you will notice that some publishers have a best-selling product, maybe a Bible product, a hymnal, a series of children's books, there should be at least one title that is selling very well for you. What is it for you? Some publishers, like this, examples, the 5 Love Languages. This is an amazing book. It has been in the #1 New York Times best-selling titles for many years. In fact, it keeps on selling even up to this point. And I heard that it's not only in the U.S. but even internationally, even in different languages. This book is doing very well. The Africa Bible Commentary is a steady seller for Word Alive in Kenya and also in other parts of Africa. This green book here is a hymnal by Africa Christian Textbooks in Nigeria, Litafin Wakoki, and it's in Hausa language. It's selling so fast, the churches are buying this hymnal, and the publisher is not able to keep up with the demand. What about you? Do you have a strong backlist of bestsellers? The more titles in your second W, what's hot, the better for you. I think the publishers will have to pursue product excellence to be able to do that. There are so many factors in why a title is best-selling. It could be the author is popular, or the author has a strong platform. But you always go back to why. You should pursue quality. Quality sells. Quality writing, make sure that your writers are doing very well in their writing. You need to train them. You need to develop, nurture them. Your editing, is it quality editing? It's sad to see typo errors in our books, and sometimes not only the structural, the flow of the content, but even the typos that are so glaring, and you printed 3,000 copies of that, and that every typo error is times 3,000. You need to be conscious of quality. How about your typesetting and your design, your book cover? Are they attractive? People judge our books by our covers. How about the printing? Is it uneven printing? The binding? If you're producing ebooks, the quality of your ebook or audiobook. Learn to be quality. It will really help you to become financially sustainable. Listen to your readers. Understand them. Understand their needs and wants. Analyze your empirical data. What is best-selling from your list of books right now? Would the market be able to absorb more of the same topic, more titles from the same author? Observe the trends. How's the general trade? Competition. You need to have a steady stream of best-selling titles to be able to become financially sustainable. My belief is that if you're a minority in your country, the church, the Christians, there is a greater chance for you to be more sustainable if you're able to sell to the general market. Find ways to meet the needs of your general readers. Now we're moving on to step 3. Connect with your readers through reader-centric marketing. As I said, you have to listen to good and bad reviews, listen to your market, listen to your readers, create lasting connections with them. Are you in touch with them? Or are you holed up in your office and not going out and not meeting your readers? You have to have connections with your readers and be relentlessly helpful to them. your sales will be a byproduct of your relationship with your readers. When I was still in OMF Literature, our editorial department came up with a brilliant idea of asking feedback from our readers right after they read the book. So we created this last page, this text, and put it as the last page of the book. We would love to hear from you. Please share with us how this book has helped or blessed you. And we put all our contact information there. And it worked. People call us, text us, email us. They tell us, they give us feedback on the book that they just read. Consider this. Maybe this is a good way to hear from your readers right away. We are into digital marketing. And what are the barest minimums for digital marketing? You need to have a company website. This is your staging point for all of the promotional and marketing paraphernalia and collaterals that you use. And if you don't have a company website yet, please create one. And these are the popular platforms if you want to do it yourself. WordPress, Squarespace, or Wix, just Google. And they have a package for free and the paid. You just choose which one that would suit you. Or you can contract a third party to do your website. But please, when you have a website, update it. People are not attracted to websites that are saying the same thing for many weeks and months and they don't see anything new in your website. Is your country able to accommodate e-commerce? Make sure that you have an add to cart. When they look at the book, they could add to the customer's cart and check out later, or just tell them exactly where to buy. Some websites are just information without information about the book, but not giving the readers information where to buy the book. So make that clear in your website. Second is for digital marketing is social media presence. Are you present on Facebook, Twitter, other social media? We cannot deny that social media is part of our culture now. But here is a good reminder from a PR specialist. She said that 80% of what we share on social media should not be self-promotional. It should be some helpful content that the readers will benefit. You are a publisher, you have so much content. You have lots of books. There should be a chapter there, a paragraph, a line, a quotation that could be helpful to your readers. And time it when the issue is what is being talked about. So give out helpful content and not always be promoting your books on social media. Post something that will be helpful, that will be encouraging to your readers, and the sales will just follow. And this is the advice of a PR specialist, that 80% of what we share should not be self-promotional, but should be something helpful to our readers. The most effective marketing is by word of mouth. You know, when we hear our pastor recommend a book at the pulpit, we would want to buy that book. We would want to read that book. Or a friend tells us that really good and excellent, a good read, then we want to read that book as well. So get recommendations, get influential people to read your book and give an objective review and post those reviews online, on social media, on your website. Ask permission if we could use that review to help others make a decision to buy your book. Yeah, so word of mouth is so important. And even nowadays in the digital world, Our books get reviewed by people we don't know. And how do we react with good and bad reviews online? So make sure that influencers are recommending your book. The last of the barest minimum for digital marketing is email marketing. This is compared to social media. Some people say social media is shotgun approach, and email marketing is like a rifle shot approach. An email gets into the inbox of your readers versus a social media tweet or a post on Facebook. And this is a specific book that will meet the need of a particular target segment. So you send out regular e-newsletters. There is a visible call to action button on your website, um, asking for people to sign up to receive your e-newsletters, like this one from our website. Be the first to know about upcoming events and news, and this window is asking for the reader's email address and join us. This is giving you permission to for you to send out e-newsletters to your readers. They are saying, yes, I would love to receive your e-newsletters. So count me in. You have this call to action button in your website, in other ways you can get and collect email addresses. There are several software providers for this, email marketing. MailChimp, Constant Contact, Aweber are three examples of these companies. So create email newsletters, e-newsletters, and send out specific books, specific news about the books to specific customers that would be interested in those titles. By the way, before I leave this topic, it might be better for you to assign your digital marketing to somebody younger than you are. Usually young people are really very good, tech savvy, social media savvy. People younger than we are better in digital marketing. So if you could assign that, find somebody from your staff or contract that out to younger people. You should also be preparing your marketing plans for each major title. I've given you an example of a marketing plan template like this one, Champion by David Waweru. He presented this in another webinar. If you can go to our website, MAI website, and look for that webinar on developing an effective marketing plan, and that will give you the details on how to create this marketing plan. But it's very important for you to be thinking of, on a per title basis, how are you going to market this title? You should have a set of plans, tactical plans to implement. Going to do a book launch or a physical book launch or an online book launch. Are you going to print out bookmarks or flyers? Things, who is in charge? How much does it cost? When is the deadline? There should be a plan for each of your major titles. You cannot just be producing them and let them sell by themselves. You have to guide your bestsellers, your new titles, to become bestsellers. So create marketing plans for each of your major title. We are now on our fourth step to becoming financially sustainable, and that is proper stewardship of cash and inventory. If content is king in editorial, cash is king in finance. Cash is so important. Without cash, you may stop operating. Without cash, You cannot pay your printers. Without cash, you cannot pay the salaries of your workers, of your staff. It's so important. How do you manage cash then? You need to plan your monthly cash flow. I also gave you a template on projected monthly cash flow. Not all businesses prepare this. This is projecting into the coming months. What will be your cash situation? It has not happened yet, but you need to be prepared what's going to happen. Let's say at the end of June, you have $20,000. And then for the month of July, you're projecting $10,000 as your cash sales. And then you're able to collect from your credit accounts $5,000. So total cash receipts is $15,000 and your total cash available is $35,000. So $20,000 at the end of June. Then you're projecting $15,000 as your cash receipt for the month of July, and you have $35,000 total for the month of July. And then you name all of your expenses, your cash out, everything, your rent, your salaries, your utilities, your payments to your printer, all expense items, identify them and project them for the month of July. And after the end of July, you have a figure there, cash available minus cash out. Let's say it's 20,240 is your beginning of August. And then you project again what will be your cash sales based on your marketing plans and your sales plans, and then your collections from your accounts receivables, and so on. Project all the way. 12 months, if you can project, you would know which month I will be running out of cash. If I don't, if I'm not able to sell what I projected, I might end up with a negative figure. This is a very important template, and I hope you are creating this. You are asking your accounting people, you yourself, if you are able to accomplish this monthly cash flow plan. Second is system. This assumes that you are doing budgeting. That means before the beginning of the fiscal year, you have set out your budgets. This is a traditional budget template. Last year's figures, the budget, last year's actuals, and then this year's budget. Okay, so this is just a basic template. You need to identify your cost here to be more detailed, but this has your gross sales, your discount, average discount, your net sales. You are not only budgeting your expense accounts, but you're also budgeting your projected sales. So do your budgeting and spend only what you have budgeted. If there's an expense account that says, oh, we need a new vehicle, delivery vehicle, but you have not planned for it, you can tell your salesman, can we postpone that for 2018 because we have not budgeted for it. So spend only what you budgeted. Third is establish accountability and control measures. Are you sure that your accountant is not in connivance with some people that they are stealing from you? You need to establish accountability and control measures. Who is handling your cash sales? Who is disbursing the cash? Who signs the checks? Make sure that there are control. It's not that you don't trust people. It's just that you want to establish controls. And I like what Lawrence Dermani said. In God we trust, in man we check and double check. So I always smile when I remember this quote from Lawrence Dermani. So establish controls. Fourth is sell only on cash basis. Sell on cash basis as much as possible. Give priority to cash sales over credit sales because that cash is coming in right away instead of you waiting for your customer to pay you. So sell on cash basis as much as possible. Collect quickly from people who owe you. Maybe you've made a mistake, you've not done appropriate background check, you've given credit to some people who are not paying you. They're Christians, but they are still not paying you. And if you can quickly from them, well and good. And 6, convert your slow-moving titles to cash quickly. This is easier said than, but don't let those titles, your books, slow-moving books, to keep on gathering dust. Cash surplus. If you have lots of cash, you might want to buy paper instead of keeping that cash in the bank. A publisher from Ukraine said, I cannot print my books on on money bills, so I need to buy paper in advance. Or if you still have more cash, then you can invest in secure time deposits that you want. Inventory takes up a lot of cash. It's the major use of cash for publishers. And Tony Whale said, never, never, ever print more copies just to get a better printing cost per unit. It has been traditionally, this has been a temptation for publishers. The more copies you print, the lower the unit cost, but don't fall into that temptation. Print only what you can sell in 6 to 12 months. If you can only sell 1,000 copies of this title, then print 1,000 copies of that title. And you would say, but that's more expensive. The unit cost will be higher than 3,000. So be it. So be it. And price accordingly. The new digital printing is now available, and I hope print on demand is now available in your country. Do your research. Encourage your printers to invest in print on demand technology. The price of machines are getting lower. The quality of print on demand is increasing. This is a very good development for publishers. The new digital printing and POD technology augurs well for publishers, and make use of this in your country, in your area. But please don't print more than what you can sell in 6 to 12 months. How do you price your books? Again, this is a tricky question. How do you price? The challenge is pricing it. You are affordable, and at the same time, you are profitable. How do you balance that? We can go into more details later, but 50% after giving discount to your resellers, 50% of that covers your variable costs, and the other 50% covers your overhead and profits. Gather your team and discuss about your pricing. Jeff Johnson said, please don't underprice your books. Always aim for appropriate pricing. Greed is bad, but profit is not. Jeff Johnson is the president and CEO of Tyndale House Publishers. Incentivize your discounts. Don't just standard discounts, but give it additional discount to people who buy cash, who buy in bigger quantities, so don't just leave out some portion of the discounts to be able to encourage your customers to buy more or to pay you cash right away. Our 5th step towards financial sustainability is regularly measure your financial health. Know where you are. I hope your accountant is doing his or her job. Invest in a reliable accounting system. Analyze comparative financial statements. When I say comparative, it's on years, not just a static 1 year, but over the years, let's say from the last 4 or 5 years, how are you doing? Do you see a trend? Are you just stagnant? Are you going down, or are you increasing in your sales? Analyze it comparatively, see what is the trend, and know where you are and make adjustments. Um, it pays to know how you're doing, and don't just be, not analyzing these financial statements and your performance results, your sales, sales per title, per author, per category, per distribution channel, all kinds of ways you can analyze your sales and see the trend. Revisit your big picture, analyze your SWOT, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Revisit your mission and vision. Make sure that you are not drifting away. Avoid mission drift. Lastly, as I mentioned, unless you are a self-publisher, you need to build a highly skilled, motivated, united staff. Hire the right people. Peter Cunliffe said, look for deeply committed people deeply committed to Christ when you hire, and they are also skilled in their area of responsibility. Hire the right people. Develop your team. Nurture them, train, empower them, motivate, inspire, encourage them, grow them. It pays to have a strong team around you. And it starts with you. Identify your weaknesses and build on. If you're weak on finance, then try to get training on that, or get somebody to assist you. Or if you're not good in marketing, then and acknowledge that and be trained on that. It starts with you. Be encouraging to your staff. Set the tone. The boss, the people, the people just respond to you. And I hope you are a person that is a model and asset to the company. So we've gone through our 6 steps to financial sustainability. Start with your plans. You need to have a steady stream of bestsellers. The higher the chance for you to become financially sustainable. If you have more books selling very well, and then less books in the last W of gathering dust in the warehouse. In fact, you want to eliminate that totally, that last W, and keep only the what's new and then the what's hot. You need to be a good steward of your cash and your inventory, because that takes up a lot of your cash resources. You need to collect well and sell on cash basis as much as possible. You need to know where you are, measure where you are, your financial health, and build a strong team around you. At the end, you need to ask the question, how do you measure success? What is success to you? How do you know you're successful? Is it a lot of profits at the end of the year? Is it more people drawn to Christ because of your books? Is it a stronger church because you have helped disciple them through really excellent discipleship materials that you've published? What is success to you? How do you measure success? I remember Peter Cunliffe said, strong finance equals strong ministry, and weak finance equals weak ministry. So what is success to you? You have to answer that question. At the end, the Lord requires us to be faithful. We need to depend on Him. We need to trust Him. We have to pray hard. We have to work hard. And we have to trust God. So I hope and I pray that the publishers, especially in the hard places, will be strong in the Lord and will be faithful in the task that God has given you, and will really work hard and trust the Lord for the results. The results are His. It may take time for people to say, yes, I was touched and changed because of the book you published. So with that, I end my presentation. We'll be open for questions. John?
Thank you, Ramon. Very excellent content, excellent guidance and material there. And I'm hoping some of you have some questions for Ramon. This is a good opportunity to take advantage and go a little bit deeper into some things that Ramon may have shared, if you had specific questions. And to do that, you can use the chat box that you should see on your screen, where it says write a message. Just type in your question and we'll see those questions, and Ramon will be glad to answer those. So please take advantage of that now. And while we're waiting for your questions, just a quick word about the next two webinars coming up. August 14th, Bernice Lee, publisher and editor from Singapore at Graceworks, will be leading a very important webinar on how to find and nurture new editors. It's a very important emphasis that we're trying to make here at MAI, and just how to equipping editors to accompany authors. And then in September, Isabel Stevenson with the Langham Ministry will be sharing some resources for editorial growth in a webinar called Editor's Toolbox. Resources for editorial growth. Also on the horizon, Lit World, which is held only once every 3 years, is coming up next year in Singapore, October 28th to November 2nd, 2018. Put those dates in your calendar, and I hope that you will prayerfully consider the possibility of joining us at Lit World. It will be an exciting time with up to 300 Christian publishers, editors, and writers from 50 countries or more. So it's a unique opportunity for networking with colleagues from all around the world, plus learning from the experts in specific publishing-related topics. Also, I should say that with regards to the material that Ramon has shared, he is very gracious with his time and expertise, and Ramon is available for online consultation via Skype, Google Hangout, or email. He is a busy man, but I'm sure he would try to fit you into his schedule if you contact him, and I'd encourage you to do that if you'd like to get additional input. He also does quite a bit of travel around the world doing on-site training and consulting. He's just such a great asset to the MAI ministry in that way. So if you could foresee the need or the strategic opportunity to invite him to do some training on publishing leadership and finance, either for your own publishing house or a group of publishers in your country, let us know about that. And a reminder, earlier at the start of at the outset of the webinar, I mentioned that Ramon's working on a booklet on financial sustainability and publishing, and Lord willing, that will be available both in print and digitally within the next several months, and we'll be sending information about that. Also, within the next hours, we'll be sending you a link to the recording of this webinar. I'd encourage you to consider maybe gathering some staff from your publishing house to maybe view it together and share impressions and ideas, and to brainstorm together about practical steps that you can take to move toward financial sustainability, because unless a publishing house is strong and self-sustaining, it won't be possible to equip local authors who will share good news and apply God's Word to issues of the day, building up the church and society in your country. So, Ramon, I'm not seeing any questions yet. Do you have any last words, or just to bring things to a conclusion here?
I just want to thank everyone who had joined us live. I did a very quick run through might be overwhelming, or you don't have any questions, specific questions. But I hope if you want to review this webinar and to discuss this with your staff, then that will be nice. And if you want to have, if you have questions, specific questions that you cannot think of right now, but please email me, and I could discuss and try to help you with those questions you might have. So yeah, I hope our time has been a good investment for you to attend, and I hope I just would like to encourage everyone to continue the work that God has given you, and to be faithful in publishing His word and proclaiming Christ to the nations through the books and literature that you publish. As John said, we at MAI would like to encourage the publishers to publish more local authors because they are more culturally relevant to your country. You can publish right away without translating, and the manuscripts, the insights from the writers would resonate better with your target readers. The translations are still good, they are still helpful, but local content would resonate better to your readers.
Thank you, Ramon. So I think we'll bring this to a conclusion. And one last word. We pray here at MAI for our colleagues around the world. If you would ever have any specific prayer requests related to your publishing ministry, please let us know. We'd love to accompany you in prayer in that way. So thank you again, Ramon. God bless, and we'll look forward to being back with you again at the next month's webinar, and we'll be in touch. Thanks so much.
Thank you.